welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the semifinals of Rift Rivals 2017. Of course, before anything else, we are going to be your casters for today. Arctic at your service, fam! And of course, with me is Vulcan and my oh my. As we head into match point, we'll just have to see, is Sin Gaming ready to accept our Lord, Savior, Gigabyte Marines into their hearts?
So right now, we'll be going on to the third game of the King of the Hill format, semifinals of the Rift Rivals. Once again, it would be Gigabyte Marines, as Arctic said, the Lord and Savior of GPL against the third seed of OPL. This might be the last game because whoever gets 3 points first will be winning the semifinals. Let's hope that Sin Gaming, they really perform so well, up on par with the second seed of the GPL, Ascension Gaming. But right now, they will be facing up the first seed of GPL, which would be the Gigabyte Marines. And I saw from the cameras themselves, the players were so ecstatic. They were so happy that they won against Ascension Gaming.
Yeah, that's a pretty big morale boost. But of course, then again, I hope the Gigabyte Marines have come prepared because they need quite the big broom if they want to try to pull off that reverse sweep.
I don't think they need a broom. They need that snow dozer, the one with the ice rigging, the ice rig. They need that for to actually sweep the floor. But right now, as far as we've seen from how Sin Gaming is performing, the way they play is very methodical, very surgical. They don't want to risk anything that's like a 50-50, especially FBI on that Caitlyn. But onto the schedule to see that it would be Gigabyte Marines, the first seed of GPL, against the third seed of OPL, Sin Gaming.
Yeah, we'll just have to see, will Gigabyte Marines be able to make Sin confess for their sins after slaughtering 2 teams from the GPL? No pun intended. Well, kind of, but yeah, it definitely very much fits it because Sin Gaming, I mean, third seed from the OPL we're talking about here, really performing above and beyond expectations, taking down third seed, taking down second seed. If they take down the first seed for GPL, really sets the bar high and really sets the standard for the OPL. Really a region probably that you don't want to underestimate.
Look at those eyes. But yes, on to the drafting phase of Sin Gaming, this time on the blue side against Gigabyte Marines on the red side. This could be perhaps the last game if Sin Gaming, with the momentum from game 1 and game 2, comes on top with the first seed of GPL. That is a huge statement. Yeah. And that is the bragging rights that OPL wants. Let's see. Will Sin Gaming secure the victory against Gigabyte Marines? Right now, on to the drafting.
I'm surprised that Sin Gaming actually banned out the Zac themselves, considering that the Gigabyte Marines is actually on the red side. So that actually would have granted them the room to actually allow Gigabyte Marines to potentially ban it themselves. But regardless, looks like finally, again, we're going to be seeing the respect ban on this Talia here for Ryoma.
So we'll be seeing the first banning phase completed for Sin Gaming, Zac, Thresh, and Elysian, whereas for the Gigabyte Marines, banning out the Gallia, Talia, and perhaps the last one, we'll be still waiting it out.
And there we go, though. I really like that there's been heavy emphasis on making sure that they ban out Lee Sin's Levi. I mean,
yes,
Levi's Lee Sin.
Finally, someone banned that Caitlyn of FBI. Thank you, the Marines. Thank you. I say thank you to the Gigabyte Marines for finally understanding the dangers of FBI's Caitlyn.
Yeah, it's actually a good thing that Sin Gaming banned the Zac themselves, because if Gigabyte Marines found themselves in a position wherein they needed to ban it instead because of how OP both the Zac and the Galio is, again, it's a continuing trend, 100% ban rate for Rift Rivals, then they would have had needed to choose between the Caitlyn or the Talia. And that's a hard toss because both FBI and Ryoma have been performing above and beyond on these 2 champions.
So on to the second picking phase. So right now, 2 have been locked. It would be, Sha on that Tom Cage and no way on that Varus. Interesting enough, we're going to be seeing FBI on the Jhin for the first time ever, because if ever a Caitlyn is available for FBI, we did see that Sin Gaming, they immediately locked it in, but this time we'll be seeing a very offensive support coming from Sin Gaming instead of a more defensive we've seen before. Caitlyn and a Braum, Caitlyn and an Alistar, but this time Jhin and a Zyra go well hand in hand, well together.
Yeah, there we go. Legendary coach for the Gigabyte Marines we see on screen right now. Really, probably one of the definitive factors to the success that we've seen from Gigabyte Marines during the GPL and even heading into MSI. But, you know, so far here in Rift Rivals, it's definitely been a different tempo. They themselves suffered 1 loss during yesterday's match. So, regardless of the situation here, we're just gonna have to see. Will we see the GPL finally get that one win that they need? Again, the huge broom is kind of neat. Like I mentioned, a snowplower probably needed by the Gigabyte Marines to get that reverse sweep. But regardless, we do have the first rotation of champions locked in for our first picking phase for both the Sim Gaming and Gigabyte Marines. So Gragas, Jin, and Zyra, very optimal, I'd say. So in exchange though, the Varus, the Tom Kench, and the Elise for Optimus. Why am I keeping on reversing these names and champions? But yeah, regardless, I actually like this Varus pickup for Noe. I feel like these type of champions which have the utility are champions he performs much more efficiently at, because he'll be able to provide, again, I really like this ult coming in from the Varus. I think this is one of the situations wherein I feel like Noe would be able to use it to optimal speed here. But then again, looking at the second phase of banning for both Sin Gaming and Gigabyte Marines, the Renekton and the Cassidy, along with the Fiora and Rek'Sai, taken off the board for both sides.
And now on to the picking phase for the second. Right now we're seeing Syndra on that Optimus, so I'm gonna say this is going to be a very strong mid laner, so I hope for Sin Gaming they're prepared. But this time, the Marines are thinking that, wait, let's not reveal our mid laner yet, or it could be something that they might regret. So instead, giving the final pick onto Sin Gaming. So this gives the Marines a last opportunity to cancel out and counter the mid laner of Sin Gaming.
Yeah, of course. What will Gigabyte Marines be bringing out for our Lord Savior Optimus? That's something I'm interested in seeing right now. As in Gaming, looking into lock in their last champion. This is going to be an interesting matchup here, both Ryoma and Optimus. And if we're going to look at the history here, Gigabyte Marines actually performed really well against the OPL squad during day one of Rift Rivals. So again, of course, this is a different team that we're seeing though. This is the third team from Oceania, so definitely a different playstyle in comparison to their first seed counterpart. But regardless, it has been undeniable that Sin Gaming, of course, to be reckoned with in this tournament thus far.
So let's see who will Optimus play, because Optimus is the star player of the GPL region, the one who is actually very capable of facing off against Korean challenges all over the international scene, because we know that from how Optimus plays, he is very he does have crazy mechanics, but we will be seeing him on a more utility support on an Oriana. So I hope that this is going to be the saving grace for the GPL region. Sin Gaming has slain Mineski, Ascensions. Right now, on to Marines. Let's see, will Sin Gaming, with the momentum from Game 1 and 2, carry it to Game 3?
If Sin Gaming wins this game against Gigabyte Marines, that is going to make a huge statement.
A huge statement, and the pride of GPL, the Marines, it'll be hurt.
If anything,
it'll be damaged beyond repair.
I actually recall the words that you said during day one, wherein Rift Rivals, it's the chance to forge friendships or make new rivals. And if Sin Gaming wins this game, I'd say a new rivalry has definitely been formed between the Oceanic League and the GPL.
Or if you're Japanese, you would write a worthy opponent as the same as a worthy friend. So right now, let's get straight to the game. This is going to be a really good match to see how the third seed of OPL will perform against the first seed of GPL. This is Rift Rivals. Let's see how the regions will stack up against each other.
Yes, there we go. And I'm getting chills right now, and it's not just because of technically our own region going into this game, but overall, just the caliber of play that we've been seeing. These regions really showing up, both LJL and OPL. So definitely mad props, not just to them, but everybody that participates, even our own teams in the GPL, really stepping up their games, making their regions proud. But then again, of course, there can only be one region that could win this Rift Rival series.
Sin Gaming, very impressive so far in this King of the Hill match. They do have the endurance and the capability to actually carry this on to the third game. But when you're facing it off against the first seed of GPL, expect that you are in for a roller coaster.
I'm actually wondering what the mindset of Gigabyte Marines right now is, because like the way I see it, it's only two things. It's either they feel the weight of needing to go for this reverse break, or maybe, you know, kind of
Let's get straight to it. The Marines, the only hope for GPL so far to make it to the finals, will be facing against Sin Gaming with an impressive start with 2 points already for the Oceanic Pro League, whereas the Garena Premier League will have 0 points. This is a do-or-die match for the GPL region.
Yeah, there we go. Gigabyte Marines really going on the offensive, establishing some great vision across the red side of Sin Gaming's map. And overall, this is going to be absolutely crazy here. If anything, hopefully this will tantamount to Gigabyte Marines using that information, using that vision to really setting the pace for a level of dominance for them in the earlier phase of the game.
But let's get straight to it. I mean, right now, it could be the moment of truth for GPL because as we've seen how the Marines play, it's really surgical in a way that they wait out the right time. But we do see that GAM knows where the jungler will start. Juves was spotted in the Raptor side. Let's see how things will play out because one first blood can start everything.
Yeah, definitely. And overall, this is going to be very telling. Really, again, this is match point that we're seeing right here. If Sin Gaming wins this is going to be like a complete, it's like day end pretty much. GPL going home 0-3 in the semifinals. That wouldn't be the optimal position for not just Gigabyte Marines, but GPL in general, you know. That would make a huge statement, you know. And overall, it's just really interesting to see what unfolds here. It looks like Optimus actually having this lane pushed in.
Optimus is pushing up the mid lane pretty effectively to really deny Ryoma's potential for more room, but when it comes to junglers, it would be Juves a bit behind. Levy already making the moves to invade the jungle of Sin Gaming. Levy's just there, waiting it out. We do see Juves in the wolf side. There is a ward. He did see the ward. Levy sees something off. You see Optimus may respawn, may get a very early blue buff, just really fending away Juves. This is Levy taking away the resources from Juves, will really deny his level 6 spike.
Yeah, Levy, you know, really good on him again. This is the type of tempo that I love seeing from Gigabyte Marines, you know, really taking the additional steps, these small victories, these small advantages to really choke out Sin Gaming. If anything, this is actually a reverse of what's happening earlier. It was actually Juves that was making the proactive move to really choke out the jungler of the enemy team. Now, Levy playing the same game with Juves, and it's interesting to see how Juves will respond to this now that it's his wall that's on the back.
So with a lot of resources taken away from Juves, Levy is on a roll right now because he did take away the blue buff, the Gromp. That's going to be huge for Juves. I mean, huge amount of EXP removed from him. Will really deny the level 6 spike. But so far in the bot side, things are looking pretty good. No way sustaining with the potion. But FBI on a Jhin is more aggressive. Look at the damage he's dealing to the duo of the Marines.
This is such a classic matchup. Jhin versus Varus right here. It's almost like I'm having flashbacks of Patch's back. If anything, probably like earlier, even during the Fling split of the season. So seeing these two champions back on the Rift, you know, this is a very textbook Varus into the Jhin right here. So regardless, I'm actually surprised. Gigabyte Marine is very much up on gold. But then again, what's actually worrisome here is I'm seeing somewhat of a similar trend where in no way, you know, it has to be a little bit more careful.
Oh, Levy going for a gank. Dokla. Ooh, walks into the cocoon. A collapse will happen, but Dokla flashes away. Well, Levy is there, getting the first blood of the game.
Man, Gigabyte Marine's really showing it how it's done. I like how we're seeing an aggressive play towards the earlier side manifest into an actual kill. This was the same feat that Mineski was trying to pull off earlier, but really didn't quite lead towards positivity. Anything really set them back into a snowball for the end.
Juves going for a tower dive. There is the Brute on to Shaya. He did flash away with the Tex King. Also popping the heal and the flash of Juves. FBI exhausted, but still will taking away Saya's bounty.
Yeah, fourth bullet really doing the trick to take down Saya there. And unfortunately,
Optimus though, spawn in the riverside, in the shrine. There's a body slam in from Juves. Optimus goes into the flash in resonance for the damage and burst. He did get a kill off that will help him scale up. And Levy from the bot side catches caught off FBI.
Yeah, really great plays here coming in from the Gigabyte Marines. This is very different from what we've been... Whoa! There we go. Realm actually taking down Optimus. But yeah, this is a different tempo that we're seeing in comparison to Game 2. Somewhat reminiscent of Game 1, actually. It's just that the difference that the trade-offs are happening back and forth as opposed to a solid snowball coming in from Sin Gaming. So regardless of the situation, I gotta hand it. Levy, once again, 2-0 now on this release. Very much early into the game. Hopefully this is something that Optimus, or rather Gigabyte Marines, will continue to capitalize on, because that is one of their key strengths. Once Levy gets things going, there's no stopping him at all.
And when Levy gets a first blood and 2 kills, he picked up the Dark Seal. And already the Sorcerer's Boots, more magic penetration, more burst potential. So Levy, with the lead he had from the first blood, going in for a more bursty build on that Elise, more offensive. This is what the Marines need. More damage to really take down Sin Gaming's lineup, because right now we're seeing FBI on a Jin. Of course, definitely that would be a Jin with amazing range. So Rogue is there with the Zyra for the protection, so it's up to the Marines to close in onto it, and I think an Elise is a good pickup.
Yeah, and overall, looking at the threats of Sin Gaming, let's go ahead and review what GAM needs to work with here. So first of all, they really want to set back who has been the primary carries over these past few games, being both Realm and FBI. At the same time, they really also want to take into account
Oh
Dokla
boy, here comes Archie. From the top side, he did use his teleport, goes in with the Lightning Surge and the Slicing Maelstrom, locking down FBI. Saya pops the thick skin. He will be taken down by FBI. FBI not going down without a fight, but it'll be Noe taking the double kill.
Yeah, really good set of pace here from Gigabyte Marine. They suffered casualties themselves, but doesn't really Tantanok, still granting him that advantage.
Levy spotting the top side. I love the way that Archie responded, but in the end, FBI got a kill. That will be more gold for him to work with. So in the end, he did get something from that, and I think that doesn't really set him back.
I actually agree with you right there. You know, again, it's one of those things that it's good, but it could have been better for Gigabyte Marines because of that casualty that they suffered themselves. And as I've been pointing out, FBI and Ryoma are really double threats for Sin Gaming here. Plus the fact that how Dokla has been playing things so methodical, as we've been mentioning earlier. So regardless, these are really key factors that I'm interested in seeing how Gigabyte Marines will be dealing with. After seeing this, these are technically two patterns, two signs of strengths that we've been seeing since Sin Gaming. So given that information, assuming that Gigabyte Marines actually studied those two games, you know, hopefully they'll play to a game plan which really allows them to not only set Ryoma and FBI back, but overall just allow the methodical play from Sin Gaming transitioning into the mid and late game.
When it comes to the middle late game, it will be Sin Gaming really catching up, because Ryoma as Alessandra, when he does get a really good lead, it will be a point-click burst onto any targets he wishes. Whereas for the Marines, they will be scaling up, but still we are seeing a Hurricane Cannon on that Archie, going for the Hurricane Cannon, whereas Optimus has yet to secure more offensive items. Chain of Corruption used by Noe to fend off Jubes.
Yeah, not a bad use of ult right there. Sometimes you really need to you really use your resources earlier on, because if you hold back and activate it a little bit too late, that's when you might actually regret it. So great on Noe to actually go for the preemptive move to use Chains of Corruption earlier on to ensure that safety for both him and his support. And yeah, I mean, overall, we really want to deny Juice for making these plays for the rest of his members.
The first turret might be secured by the Marines. Look at the assist from Levy. Ooh,
wow.
The repel with the fancy footwork.
Again, Levy really...
Look at that turret. Huge chunk already down. So this is going to be more pressure for Dokla.
Levy, always such a joy to watch whenever playing for Gigabyte Marines. Again, the jungle plays that he's been making, overall mechanics are really, really respectable. But then again, overall,
oh
wow!
For the first time, the Marines are going to be taking away the first third of the game from Sin Gaming.
Man,
FBI denied of that 650 gold.
Good trade though. I mean, in exchange though, Sin Gaming were able to take down a turret themselves. Luckily, a few seconds difference between that pick, but looks like great on Levy. Will be transitioning into the Rift Herald take though.
More gold value though from the Rift Herald.
Oh yeah, definitely. And overall, this is another scenario wherein I'm interested in seeing how Gigabyte...
Oh, Noe goes in with Jubes there. You did see Saya eat him off for the save. Noe makes it out alive, but Saya doesn't. But in exchange, the Marines will be taking away the Rift Herald.
Hashtag support is life, saving Noe's life right there. And overall, that was, again, Tom Kench doing his job right there. Sacrifice, although it did cost him his own life. But
Ooh,
really
Chain of
well
Corruption onto FBI, another CC onto him, a stun from the Cocoon. Levy's on a killing spree.
Man, that was a little bit of an overstay, if anything, an overextend as well, coming in from FBI right there. And as a result, you know, that was pretty careless. I mean, even looking at the player cam right there, probably regretting that, because he was a little bit with an overstep, actually almost beside the turret and beside himself. So, again, this is a really great pace that Gigabyte Marines is putting up. But then again, Sin Gaming actually not slowing down either.
Not slowing down because they want to have the momentum. If ever they do take down the first seed of GPL, a huge statement to the Oceanic Pro League. I mean, from that region, we just know they're that much powerful.
But then again, overall, Gigabyte Marines, earlier on, I really like how they have a solid lockdown with the kit of all the champions that they've drafted, leaning towards this composition here. So we'll just have to see. I'm actually interested in seeing how the configuration will go once we actually hit these fuller fights going 5v5, or even the basically wherein we really play the numbers game for either side. So again, we'll just have to see.
12 minutes into the game, skill score 4-6, both teams playing it rather safe and slow, because when time ticks, the Marines might catch up, but Optimus does pick up an easy kill. Saya pops the thick skin, but still will be taken down. Archie's there, backs away from the members of Sin Gaming.
Not exactly the best positioning by Saya. They're granting a kill for Sin Gaming to work with. You know, every single kill at this point counts. Every time you get picked off only allows your enemy team to slowly build up onto equal playing field. And sure, Gigabyte Marines a few gold up, but then again, it's not really tantamount to really say that they actually have control of this game thus far. So overall, we'll just have to be Archie though.
Sizing Maelstrom.
But we'll have to go. We're gonna have to go ahead and see a little bit of a replay though that happens here. Optimus getting the solo drawn for Realmo, really proactive move there. He did exhaust the summoners though, but still mission accomplished. But let's go ahead and see what happened here. Archie actually ending up dying along with Noe. That was a really good play though from Rogue before we hit that replay. You know, really getting the lockdown onto Archie. That slicing Maelstrom, as positive the intention was, ultimately led to not only his death but Noe's as well.
And what a mistake that the bot lane made, giving an even kill score right now, 7-7. Goalie not yet that definitive so far, but when it comes to FBI, he is scaling up. Already finished up the Essence Reaver, whereas Noe has yet to complete his item with 105 CS compared to 75. Understandable. That's a huge CS deficit.
Yeah, I'm pretty worried for the Gigabyte Marines at this point, because I feel like the great thing about Sin Gaming being the third seed and winning these two games, they have such a great momentum going on for them. You know, the morale is just way, way up there. And I don't even think the pressure of going up against the first seed is phasing them, because just the fact that they toppled down the second seed, whoa, actually great. Optimus using his ult to clear out this wave here. But regardless, yeah, as I was saying, you know, Sin Gaming, this is a worrisome trend here, because the third seed really living up to par, performing, actually going equal head-to-head against the first seed of the GPL. That even though, let's say, Gigabyte Marines wins this, it's very definitive of just how much the Oceanic Pro League has really been stepping up in the region.
And the region where OPL sitting at 2 points, whereas GPL is still at 0. Just goes to show that the third seed still is a force to be reckoned with. And now here comes the Abyssal Voyage, bringing in Noe, but the turret's health is very, very low. OPL, the Chain of Corruption will not connect. It does cleanse out of Yoma. The stun will not connect from Cocoon from Levy. The turret is still off for grabs. Let's see. Sieging off.
That's a very low health turret.
Very low health. FBI is itching to take that down.
Again, this is very classic Dokla right here. We're seeing pressure in the mid lane, exerting his own pressure in the top lane. So, again, very, very classic Sin Gaming.
Oh, Optimus from backside. He goes in, placing the ball. No shockwave yet available. Here comes a two-man shockwave. Ultimate's trying to burst an FBI. Tries to back away with the ghost. Repel in from Levy to clean up Rogue. Rogue's very low. Levy gets rooted down, but he does get a shot on FBI left alone. No ace there. Levy will be closing in. Oh, with a triple kill for the execution. Meanwhile, Archie will be pressuring that bottom lane.
Man, just when I actually thought that Sin Gaming was actually playing this really well with Dokla pushing top, it's actually Dokla now forced to respond to the onslaught that happened coming in from Gigabyte Marines, and it's actually Archie now going for the split push. So the tables have definitely turned, and a Dragon Take to boot. Again, it's just Gigabyte Marines, all the positivity in the world working for them.
Wow, that's setback. Ocean Drake. Ball lane turret, 3 members down. All in all, the goal that summed up was 2,000. Right now, it would be the Marines catching up, leading with a goal lead of 2,000, whereas the OPL region, Sin Gaming, has yet to actually make a good lead so far because of what happened in the mid lane.
Oh man, this is absolutely crazy right now. You know, still, Gigabyte Marines, they're definitely emerging on the upper side of the spectrum, but it's still very equal that they couldn't really breathe a sigh of relief just yet. It's another one of those scenarios where it's just very much head-to-head, very telling, but then again, we'll just have to see, because I feel like Gigabyte Marines, if they keep up this momentum, if they continue to capitalize on these small victories to even medium victories, then I feel like we might actually be seeing a win from the GPL, but still, it's almost a cautious optimism that Gigabyte Marines needs to keep as far as mindset is concerned.
When it comes to keeping up with the game, they do have the execution-wise where it's very clean, on point, very calculated in a way that it does give the Marines a really good start. But for Sin, they know that when they make a mistake, they will pay the price, because especially what happened in the mid lane, they were very aggressive, still itching to take down the turret. Was somehow of a setback because they can't keep playing the same play style they did with the third and fourth seed. But right now, Optimus gets eaten by Saya, will be saved so far. 2 ultimates down for Sin Gaming.
Yeah, you normally think getting eaten is a bad thing, but in this case, it's definitely a good thing, considering that is what Tom Kench excels at, and you know, really good save there onto Optimus. But overall, you really need to avoid finding themselves in those type of scenarios, because I don't think Saya will always be in the vicinity to save the day for his teammates right there. So again, it's those clutch plays that Sin Gaming could actually capitalize on when they find the right opportunity, and if there's a chance that Saya not able to provide the utility to protect his teammate.
So far, Archie doing a really good job pressuring the bottom lane. The next trick will be Ocean. The Baron will be live in less than 1 minute and 36 seconds. So far, the Marines do have some control of the map, whereas Sin Gaming, they are still having more aggression in their own jungle, but we saw that that one side was not warded. Levy closing in on to Drills. He does get stun locked, very low on health. He cannot escape that. No way picks it up. Still Douglas going in, tries to back away. Saya is there for the protection. Optimus is spotted in the top side.
Doc is not landing that skill shot though. I feel like if that landed, that actually would have been a pretty nifty amount of damage onto the Gigabyte Marines, but still regardless, did miss though. Still pretty much Gigabyte Marines with all the space in the world to perform right now.
Look at the pressure they are delivering into the red side jungle. Despite the leads that the OPL region had. Ooh, the lock and the burst coming from Levy. That's what you expect when you give a first blood to Levy, and now scaling it up really well. Douglas very low on health. Archie will be taking over this bot lane to pressure it.
It's just quite tricky at this point for Sin Game. I mean, not really as tricky, but I'd say it does set the bar wherein Gigabyte Marines definitely has that advantage. But then again, this is very reminiscent of what happened to Ascension Gaming earlier, that I'm actually interested in seeing that if whether or not Sin Gaming could pull out the same feat, wherein they suddenly went for the reverse, leaning towards the late game, boating their time well into transitioning when their spikes are. But yeah, we'll just have to see. Gigabyte Marines though really.
Ooh, shockwave onto FBI. A huge chunk of health removed. And wow, I just gotta say, when you see the ball here on the floor, just don't even get near it.
But yeah, actually, it's interesting that we're talking about FBI right now, because in comparison to the last 2 names, he's not as prominent just yet on this gen.
Because the Caitlyn's ban. I'm telling you, man, you gotta ban that Caitlyn. And the Marines done it.
I remember you talking about that since yesterday. Ban the Caitlyn, ban the Caitlyn, ban the Caitlyn.
I just don't
It's really
understand.
manifesting.
I just don't understand why the other regions didn't ban that Caitlyn. Obviously, FBI had a 100% pick rate, 100% pick rate on that Caitlyn. So I just don't understand why, especially the way he's been playing, dominating each time he picks it up. But this time the Marines will be removing that Caitlyn. And now look at it, the flow of the game is different.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, Jules caught off guard, trying to flash away and face there, but Levy with the repel, but no way, with the kill secure, will be taking that head.
It's kind of like a learning experience, game per game per game. Mineski didn't ban neither the Talia or the Caitlyn. They really felt the pain. Next game, Ascension Gaming went head-to-head without Caitlyn. Gigabyte Marines, now that both of Sin Gaming's efficient champions are banned out, you know, this is just them really I'm not actually, this is what I'm actually wondering. Is this a scenario wherein Gigabyte Marines is performing because those two champions are banned, or is it because regardless as to whether or not those two champions have been picked, they'd still perform?
A lot of summoners burn in the mid lane, especially the ultimates, really long cooldowns, the cleanse from the QS.
Oh no, Dokla.
Dokla being sandwiched, Levy for the execution. Dokla doesn't want to die just yet. He wants to take down Archie. Oh boy! Oh, flash and play from Dokla.
Oh, Archie.
Teleporting out. Oh my goodness, that disrespect.
And he didn't technically even need to go for the teleport anymore, because like a good precaution though. Levy wasn't even on his case anymore, but still, Archie, man.
Oh, he used a flash for that. Whoa. That just caught Archie off guard.
That was crazy. And, you know, Archie, overall, his performance in Rift Rivals, he hasn't been having the best time when he's been playing Kennen. You know, during the game yesterday against Rampage, he was just way behind that. It was such a huge detriment to Gigabyte. Right now, definitely working much better, but again, it's these really small things that are so unfortunate.
If ever the Marines do take down Sin Gaming, they do have the exhaustion. Right now, Sin Gaming, I'm pretty sure they're exhausted from that almost 1 hour game, and the first game which was just 20 minutes, now 60 minutes. I wonder how long this game will be.
Yeah, definitely. You know, definitely worn out. And if you're going to think about it, the rest of the OPL squad, second seed and first seed, just kind of sitting pretty, waiting if they actually even need to play out the series right now.
Oh boy. Dokla gets slowed by the Blade of Ruin King. Optimus is there for the speed boost. Archie still sticking up to him, gets stunned. Dokla goes in for a desperate attempt to take down Optimus, but still does not succeed.
Hashtag vengeance for Archie right there. You know.
He doesn't have a flash there because he used it to kill Archie, so.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, actually that's true. Losing out on Flash, you really manifested it in that second fight right there. Juice will try to make things happen.
He is very behind, so he's not that defensive yet, not tanky enough, whereas FBI trying to clear out this mid lane.
Gigabyte Marines, I gotta hand it to them. This is a team that you could definitely tell really knows how to play this game, really knows how to strategize. Again, this is all the information that I feel that they've seen from both Game 1 and Game 2, manifesting into really exploiting the weaknesses that Sin Gaming or not really weaknesses, but the ways you could actually deter Sin Gaming from actually performing in this game. Looking at Ryoma, looking at FBI right now.
Oh, Ro gets caught by Optimus.
Man. But yeah, as I've been saying, GAM played this in such a great way that Ryoma and FBI, since both of them have been set back a bit, aren't really in the position to perform right now. And this was a strength for Sin Gaming in both Game 1 and Game 2. Going into Game 3, this is definitely a weakness manifesting that GAM is exploiting and playing to the T. But
the barrier is going to be contested so far. I mean, it's live, so we're seeing that the Marines are taking the steps to ward it out, take more control, but we do see more pressure coming from the bot lane.
Yes, there we go. 9 and 14 now on our scoreboard. Double Drake, not to mention, for the Gigabyte Marines. Everything is just working in their favor. I'm actually interested in seeing whether or not the same goes for their CS as well. But overall, it's just definitely Gigabyte Marines pulling ahead. Look at the goal difference right now. Finally, 6,000. This is the first time I'm actually seeing a GPL team having this much of a gold lead onto Sin Gaming right here. So Gigabyte Marines really doing something right.
And also the fact that they are taking control of that Baron pit, which Sin Gaming has lost. So this gives them more room, and especially Levy, look at the performance he has on that Elise. 602, perfect game so far, and the damage he's bringing in, a Leandry's Torment, a Void Staff is more than enough for him to burst down high priority targets like FBI, Ryoma, or if Rogue is get caught off guard or out position, take him down.
Definitely. And overall, we'll just have to see if Gigabyte Marines could keep this up.
Oh,
But looks like they can.
look at that swallow up from Levy. He is gone like the sandwich attack from the Marines. Levy's very low. The shockwave will connect onto Rogue. Rogue's very low, but Optimus will be left behind. The shutdown goes to Rogue. And now with 2 members down, the jungler, but the Chain of Corruption will connect onto FBI. He does cleanse away from that. No way flashing in for Rogue, but he's so slow. Oh, the rain of arrows will finish up Rogue, while the explosive cast will not be enough.
Yeah, I was kind of worried that that would have ended in a fiasco for Gigabyte Marines, but luckily they did manage to trade it off for 2 for 2, if I'm not mistaken. So, but at the end of the day, it's still pretty much on Gigabyte Marines' support. But then again, we have reached a point. This is another one of those points wherein it's kind of gotten a little bit more, how do I say it? Quiet in a way, because we do see these small skirmishes, but we're yet to see yet another turret being taken down where it manifests to Gigabyte Marines taking that further lead. Again, this is one of the things that Sin Gaming is actually good at, really prolonging the game until they could get back onto such equal ground wherein they could actually start toppling over their opponent. But then again, given the composition that they have, will have again, this is a Cinder that we're talking about. If Ryoma does manage to get up on some itemization, and looking at the builds right now, it's actually only Optimus and Saya that has any form of magic resist. The rest of the members might be very, very susceptible to a full onslaught of skills coming in from Ryoma once Ryoma does manage to build up. But so far, he is a little bit behind in comparison to Optimus, so we'll just have to see.
Well, not that far behind when it comes to damage, because it is a Syndra we are talking about. When it comes to damage in items, definitely Optimus is ahead because of his KDA and CS, but here's a collapse into the mid lane. Levy cannot even get out. Repels away. Oh, Saya for the save. Man, Saya, if we had to count how many saves he did successfully, would be at least 3. So those saves are very crucial because the Baron is live, and it's very important that Levy stays alive for a contest.
Yeah, definitely. And overall, this is just something that the White Marines, they want to play it a little bit. Again, they don't want to get too cocky right now, even with that lead that they have, because the game is definitely showing some signs of life. And if Gigabyte Marines overextends their bounds, goes for the overstep when they shouldn't, then that's something that Sin Gaming could easily capitalize on right now. It looks like Dokla though. Will Archie be able to save it?
Oh, Archie spots him slicing Maelstrom for the lockdown. Dokla can escape. You may have taken the blue buff, but I don't think you'll escape with your life. Dokla gets taken down. No ways on a rampage with the blue buff, but Sin Gaming sees this opportunity, taking the Baron. So far, we do see that Levy is there for the contest. Optimus with the ball in place for a shockwave. Ooh, the shockwave does not connect. Ryoma dodges that. Now, one ultimate down. Levy's there for the steal. Now it would be the Baron in the hands of Sin Gaming, but will not survive. The Marines is damaged. No ways on a double kill. Saya killed off FBI. That would be the ace. The Baron is gone.
But regardless, even without that Baron, Gigabyte Marines definitely coming out on top. Finally, this is what I'm talking about. The storm has finally come, and ultimately, the team that came out of it alive and kicking with the lead, definitely Gigabyte Marines. Finally, just finally, with fingers crossed, I could feel GPL, probably the rest of the regions, the rest of the countries that encompass GPL really cheering him on, hopefully triggering GAM to get their first win for their region.
So Inhibitor turret taken down. Inhibitor will be second. And so what happened in the Baron pit? They bet everything there. Okay, they got a lot of gold from that, but that means nothing unless you use the Baron buff. You get more gold if you actually use the buff, but this time the Marines transitioning towards the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, another Ocean Drake to boot, by the way. So again, Gigabyte Marines, I feel like sure, Ocean Drake, probably a lot of people tend to underestimate it, but with that triple build-up right there, you know, that's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy. So, ultimately, Gigabyte Marines definitely in that position. We'll have to try to find an opportunity. This is, again, very reminiscent of Ascension Gaming right now. But Gigabyte Marines definitely with a heftier lead and a lot more opportunity to close out this game, because still, the members of Sin Gaming can't quite deal with an onslaught full 5v5 against Gigabyte Marines right there. And this could be the saving grace for GAM to grant that first win to the GPL region.
So far, kill score 10, deficit 11 to 21. The Marines have a really good lead, especially on items and pushing power. Especially the Drakes, complete control, 3 Ocean Drakes. That would be a lot of regeneration, so they can have long periods of team fights, can go on and off. Let's see.
Oh man, now that I just realized, one of the issues that Sin Gaming has, which is actually why the mid laner, even basically almost the rest of the squad is performing and having such a hard time. Look at the kill distribution. 5-5-5 for Rogue right now, getting 5 of the total kills, having the most number of kills actually out of all the members of Sin Gaming. Not exactly the best scenario, even though she is a mage, but you have to put into consideration the rest of the members that you should be relying on, that technically should be dishing out the most damage.
You see that Sin Gaming trying to fend up the waves from the Marines. Spotted in the bot lane, Archie still pushing away the incoming waves. Dokla forced to respawn. This is a stand of 32 minutes into the game. So far, the Marines are trying to close the game. Seeing how the inhibitor in the mid lane is gone, this gives them more room, more pressure all throughout. So you'll see Archie is still in the bot side, trying to look for the right time. 3 members in the top lane inhibitor turret. Optimus with the Banshee's Veil will be a lot of help, so he does survive the initial CC coming from Ryoma.
This is the type of configuration that I've been talking about as far as the push once you're on the offensive here, which was kind of what I found lacking with Ascension Gaming right now. Gigabyte Marines kind of divided to conquer with Archie pushing out bot lane. Sure, I could kind of understand that in Ascension Gaming's case, they were up against the Fiora.
Oh, flashing by some Jubes, displacing Levy, but he does have the zone. Yes, he does get stunned by Ryoma. Oh, FBA with a kill, but Ryoma gets taken out with... Oh, he still survives, but No Way goes in for the last stick of health. Jubes is very low. Optimus is there for the burst, but No Way will be picking up that double kill. And now Archie still in the bot lane, pressuring Dokla. He can't respond to the 3 members of the Marines. FBI left alone will try to defend those super minions in the mid lane. 2 members of Sin Gaming down. Saya taking a lot of heat from FBI. Optimus to save again. No Way is legendary so far, picking off Rogue. And now FBI is low, but the bot lane will be soon to fall. But the top lane, No Way is focused on that.
Yeah, definitely. And finally, Gigabyte Marines really pushing in. This is the first time I'm actually seeing a team really exert dominance as far as pushing into the base of Sin Gaming. And again, Gigabyte Marines totally in the position right now to potentially win this, granting the first win for the GPL in the semi-finals. Again, this is what I've been talking about. Our Lord and Savior, the Gigabyte Marines.
Let's see though if they can still close it in. Here comes the explosive cast. Saya, the thick skin will not help. Here comes Dokla for the flag. Juves will be going in with the Buzz Slam combo, but Ryoma will be picking up with a shutdown gold for himself. Archie gets stunned by Ryoma again. Ryoma with those pointing click stuns. Archie snared and CC'd, going in for Juves instead. Very low on health. He does succeed. Wow. Optimus will clean up for him. Levy over the wall, rappelling towards FBI. FBI will have to back away, dodges that cocoon.
Good kiting there from Gigabyte Marines. It looks like they're not done just yet, trying to get FBI, but it looks like FBI will be able to survive. But wow, oh wow, oh wow. I almost thought that was going to be a slaughter for Sin Gaming, but then again, both Archie and Optimus played that to the T. Optimus not leaving his teammate, definitely manifested, giving enough time for Levy to actually go for the response. But still, overall, Gigabyte Marines finally the first gold lead, leaning towards 10k in favor of GPL, in manifesting actually not present, not even near present towards the first 2 games. So very refreshing to see. GPL showing signs of life.
Well, they have to. This is their last chance, especially knowing that this is the first seed of GPL. doing a really good job fending off the OPL squad, the third seed, Sin Gaming, with the endurance from game 1 and 2, still trying their best to come back from that. But when it comes to endurance test, all players, all pro players right now, they did experience a lot of best of 5, so this isn't alien for them. They are very accustomed to this type of format, so endurance is at the testing grounds for these players.
Man, Gigabyte Marines, if they could pull off this first win, then I'm actually interested in seeing how they'll fare if they could perform the reverse sweep, because it's definitely not a question as to whether or not Gigabyte Marines has the endurance and the stamina to last 3 games, because in GPL they played 3 straight wins, 3-0 against Ascension Gaming in a best of 5. So there's definitely no doubt as far as the stamina. The problem definitely here is
Oh
whether or not they
boy,
can withstand.
Dokla cleanse away from the chain of corruption. He's onto No Way. There's the redemption teleport coming in. There is Saya and Optimus from the sides, but get knocked up by the Stranglethorn. Dokla is very low. Archie comes in for the CC with a slicing maelstrom. Roma gets taken down. Optimus is there trying to take down FBI. FBI gets exhausted. Optimus still walking in towards him. The burst from the ball will not be enough for FBI, but Jubes is left for dead with 3 members of Sin Gaming alive.
Oh man, ladies and gents, this may be potentially finally be the game for GPL. And we'll just have to see again, this might be the last stand coming in from Sin Gaming right here.
The shockwave for the burst from Optimus will take down FBI. The Nexus gets taken out. This would be game set for the Gigabyte Marines, the first seed from GPL, securing the first victory for the GPL region.
There we go. Congratulations. Look at the Gigabyte Marines. Actually, they're just kind of
Mellow.
Yeah, mellow in the sense that they're sighing that huge sigh of relief that, whew, at least we finally got a win for the GPL. But, you know, no room for celebration just yet. They still have quite a long sweep to go if they want to get the reverse sweep. I hope they brought a few extra rooms because they still have 2 more teams to go up against. But still, good job.
Great run for Sin Gaming, though. The third seed of the OPL region, facing off against 2 teams of the GPL and still coming out on top for 2 points for their region. This is something that Sin Gaming is an achievement, so congratulations for Gigabyte Marines for securing the victory, the first victory of the GPL, whereas for Sin Gaming really had a really good run for the King of the Hill matchup. But this time, since the Marines took down Sin Gaming, next would be, of course, the second seed of OPL. It would be Legacy Esports and the Marines facing off into moving on to Game 4.
Yeah, very well played indeed. But of course, as we head into the next game, for the meantime, we're going to be taking a quick break. Of course, we have been your casters, Arctic at your service, fam. And of course, with me is the Mighty Vulcan. This has been Rift Rivals 2015, the semifinals. We'll be right back.